Absolutely. You know, Kitty, I want to go to you and kind of pose the same question. What did you learn about caregiving and or dementia while developing your film and editing your film? And what do you feel is the importance of storytelling in the creation of your film and these other films and the care community as a whole?
Yeah, Susie, you said something really interesting about people that you knew who are just like, I can't be in this space anymore. And I've known those people too. I don't think any of us are like, oh, I don't get that. I don't understand that. We're all like, yep, totally
Mhm.
get it. But I also found like everybody in the film that I asked to participate, we can't get out of this space. And it's like what you said, I don't want a whole nother generation of caregivers to have to reinvent the wheel. So here's what we figured out in the film. Here's our experiences. Here's some information for you. Now that you have this base, you, as the next generation, can figure out how you're going to tell your story and how you're going to get the next generation behind you a little further down the road. And I think that's the huge benefit of telling these stories. Not everybody in this space is going to relate to my film. Not everybody's going to, understand because they didn't go through the nursing home experience, but it doesn't matter because the people who do need this information are going to find it through people like us and people like the Al's authors telling their stories. Um, I don't think I learned that much about dementia while I was making the film because I had 5 years experience of it beforehand. And boy, that was a, dunk in the pool. But one thing that was very much reinforced in making the film and since then is the absolute critical importance of community. And I already knew that before I started making the film, but then just going to meet these people face to face, that was a huge like, wow, it feels even better. Even though my journey's over, I'm processing, I'm healing, it was amazing. And we just had someone screen last week who she sent me an email, one of the hostess, and she said, I can't believe the conversations that people started after the film because once they saw, eight other caregivers tell their stories and really connect that way, that's what they wanted to do. And they sat there for the next 45 minutes going, well, do you remember when my mom did? Or remember when my husband ran down the street with, it's just like, and they had a sense of being able to process and laugh about things that may not have been at all funny at the time, but now it's like, okay, we're working through this. These stories are helping us, and I think that's what all of us in this podcast do. Even Lance, you're bringing people on to tell their own stories. It's hugely important.